everybody. Welcome to socaldramtram. It's your boy Caesar.
And I'm Matt. And don't forget, if you're new here, be sure to hit that subscribe button. And don't forget to hit a little bell on the way out. That way you know when we drop a new review. Also, if you're a return viewer, hey, we appreciate you sticking around. What do we got on the bar today, Caesar?
Today we got something from my bar, folks. We got a Grangestone 21 year.
Ooh.
So folks, today we got this Grangestone 21 year. Yet another Total Wine exclusive. Sorry for those of you that aren't in the States. But not much on the actual distillery itself, other than when I researched it, it is obviously 21 years old and it is aged in American oak casks, non-chill filtered. So obviously I've had quite a bit of this because it is from my bar, and as far as a 21-year-old goes, I thoroughly enjoyed it. So I hope you do too.
Yeah, one day you're going to have to B-roll in some footage of like you pouring whiskey at home where it's like 4-finger pours. It's like, look how quickly I go through my bottles. Meanwhile, we can go through my bar and it's like, do you drink?
Oh my God.
You got a lot of alcohol for somebody that doesn't drink. But nonetheless, guys, like you said, this is another Total Wine exclusive. You can check out our other review of a Total Wine exclusive. It's the Glenfodry 21. It's up here. Be sure you check it out. I think we've had this together, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this one, it's 21 years old. It's 40% ABV. How much did you pay for this? I forget.
80 proof. I paid probably, I think, $100 for it.
$100? Okay, so another Total Wine exclusive at $100.
Yeah.
You know, people are asking kind of like, you know, why do we review like the Total Wine exclusives, things like that? Like, are they good? Are they not good? Like, it's not about that. Like, I think for us, it's more about like, what's the journey, right? Look, Evan Williams, Bottled in Bond. We reviewed it. It's right here. It is one of the best whiskeys I've ever had. It's $16. Like,
oh yeah,
I will
tough.
Never turn my nose up to that bottle.
So good.
So that's why we review stuff like this, right? Some people are like, Grangestone, Glenfodry. Like, it's not about that. It's about the fact that, hey, everybody's got a little bit of a different whiskey journey, and we like to try all the things, right?
Definitely.
So for me, I'm looking forward to this. Like I said, bang for your buck at 21 years. You can show off with that age statement. 40% ABV. I am going to knock it a little bit because, look, that Glenfodry 21 was 47.1. Yeah. So this being at 40, I'm kind of like, come on. But nonetheless, I am excited. You said this is non-chill filtered?
Yeah, non-chill filtered.
Interesting. So I'm very curious about that. I'm going to do a little digging on this one by myself, just because I know if you are really under 46, usually you're chill filtered. But like I said, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's not, but I will say it's not on the bottle. So I'm very curious about that. But you've had this. What should I expect off of this?
Well, I definitely think you should expect the smoothness that you would typically expect from a 21-year-old, for sure.
Yeah.
From what I remember, hands down, the smoothness of it.
Now,
what stood out to me.
If I remember correctly, one of the first whiskeys that you bought was the Grangestone 12?
12 year.
Yeah,
12 year.
So you brought that over and you were super hype on that one.
Yeah.
And I remember just getting like tobacco leaf out of it, like a strong sense of tobacco leaf. So I'm excited to try this one again. It has been months since I had this with you, so I do not remember it at all. Judging based solely off the nose, I am getting a little bit more of that tobacco influence, but not nearly as much as the 12.
Yeah.
And when I say tobacco, folks, I mean like tobacco leaf, not like ashtray smoke. Like, I just mean tobacco leaf, fresh tobacco leaf. But before I do get further into the whiskey, I'm going to shout out my coin. Today I'm using Old Soul Whiskey Guy. Shout out to you, my brother. Hope the move to Hawaii is going well for you. And this is his Cast 2 coin. Who are you using today?
For my topper coin, I'm using my Aquavite recycle reviews because I love the recycle reviews. They're probably my favorite video lineup that he has to offer. And for my coaster coin, I'm using my Social Sippers official member.
So right off the bat on the nose, right, there's a little bit of that acetone, rubbing alcohol, sharpness, but it goes away pretty quick. And it kind of does dissipate. Like I said, you get a little bit of that tobacco leaf. Now it's aired out a little bit. Like I had a coin on it, but I took it off. And that tobacco kind of has gone away. What kind of cask is this aged in? I forget what you said.
American oak.
American oak? Yeah, that lines up. I mean, I am getting some vanilla. I am getting a little bit of honey. Not like a super sweet honey. I think that vanilla is kind of come over. It's not like vanilla ice cream. It's more like a vanilla latte. Right?
Yeah.
Like a little bit more of that bittersweet.
A little bit more of a vanilla latte with spiked with a little more espresso into it. That's to be honest, you were nailing it right there. That's what I get right there. Vanilla latte with some more espresso shots than the average vanilla latte, so you know that, all right, yeah, you know, this is some strong stuff.
It's like a Black Friday weekend on your shopping spree. I need 18 shots in my coffee kind of thing. So take a sip. And definitely, oh, it's coming in. Not as tobacco forward as the 12-year was.
But it's definitely still there.
It's still there. It's still present. It kind of comes at you like a lingering thing. Like after you swallow, it kind of comes up. That vanilla is still there for sure. The honey shows up on the palate. Get a little bit of pepper, so I'm a little worried what water is going to do to this guy. It's going to blow it up. I'm fairly confident. But there's a spice in there that I can't quite place. I'm really bad when it comes to placing spices in a whiskey. It usually ends up going down to like, it's nutmeg. It's not always nutmeg. But it's the only one that I can think of. It's like I'm a one-trick pony or something. But for me, this is almost like maybe it's because the maltiness is reminding me like a crust. There's the vanilla in there, so I'm getting like a sweetened condensed milk memory. It's kind of like a pumpkin pie spice. Now, I don't mean like this is pumpkin pie, but what I mean is like there's a similar spice note in there, like a Chinese allspice or something like that. That's not something that you use in everyday cooking, but it's something that you use in like specific baking. Like I said, this is good neat. I don't like the tobacco-y finish, but I don't tend to like that in a lot of my whiskeys. But this one's still better than the 12 for sure in terms of that tobacco flavor. What are you getting?
So distinctly, I really get, I mean, this, when I drink this, and if you guys have had that 12-year from Grangestone, you would know, oh yeah, this is definitely just a 21-year-old version, heightened version of the 12-year. So I definitely get that tobacco notes, but I also get like a leathery note.
Yeah, there's a leather in here.
Definitely like a fresh leathery,
there's a leathery note in this.
Fresh leathery note. But to be honest, what I can say is the best characteristic of this is the smoothness. Like it's definitely very.
It does
smooth.
Go down really
very,
smooth.
very, very smooth. So I mean, that for me is the best characteristic. Although tobacco might be for a lot of you. Same with the tobacco leather I'm talking about. But for those of you that know what I'm talking about and enjoy that kind of stuff deep in your palate, then yeah, it's definitely a nice, rich tobacco leather taste with a very smooth, subtle finish. So this is something where even if someone that, you know, isn't too into whiskey and comes into my house and you're like, I want to try something, you know, give me a decent quality one. All right, I'll pour you some of my 21-year-old Grangestone because it's aged very well and it is very smooth drinking to where if you can't even pick out those notes, at least it'll land fleshly at the end to where you're not, you know, too mad about, you know, getting a super alcoholic-y whiskey.
Sorry, I just got sidetracked by the fact that there's a lion on their thing.
Yeah.
So I put 3 drops of water in it. Definitely blew up the pepper note. But that tobacco note, man, did it just punch up. Like, it all of a sudden was like, hey, I'm here, let's party. And it's like, oh, man, I don't know how I feel about you. This is kind of like when you run into that guy at the bar and he's smoking in the bar and you're like, it's a non-smoking bar, what are you doing? And he just keeps going. You're like, all right, whatever. And he's just kind of like wearing out his welcome. Like that tobacco-y flavor at the end. I really I don't care for it. Again, if that's your bag, this is for you. For me, that's just not really my thing. But I will say with the water, on the front end, very sweet. Very almost like sickly, stick to the roof of your mouth, like fruit roll-up sweet. But then that tobacco and pepper just blows up. But again, 21 years old, $100, it's not a bad whiskey by any stretch of the imagination.
For the age and the price, definitely not.
How many drops of water you put on yours?
I put 3.
Does it get sharpy to you? Like it definitely feels like it's blowing up that alcohol note.
The pepper finish is the biggest thing I noticed. It's just like, whatever we are here, well, this is where we are now. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely, I enjoy it a lot more neat. Definitely a lot. This is a neat drinker for sure.
Yeah. This is something I think, like, if you have somebody who's new to whiskey, like you were kind of saying, you can pour them this and not feel bad about it, right? Like, because they may not appreciate it as much as you may do. So you can pour them something like this and go, okay, like, let's say, for just sake of argument, right? You have Johnny Walker Blue on the bar, right? And you have a Grangestone 21. Johnny Walker Blue is like $200, whereas this is $100. And somebody's like, I want to try some whiskey. And they're like, here, try this out. Because they may turn around and go, you know what? Can I get some ice? That's totally fine, by the way. But maybe give them this so that way they can kind of warm up to something a little bit better, right? And again, it's not saying this is bad. It's just saying it's different. So for me, Grangestone 21, $100, 40% ABV, flavors in the glass, I'm going to give it a 2. I prefer the Glenfodry 21 for sure because of the higher ABV. I think there's more there to explore. I think it gives you a little bit more in the glass because they are giving you a little bit more booze for the buck. If this was at like 43, I think that would do just a world of difference for it.
Yeah.
But it's at 40, so I'm judging it based on that. I'm giving it a 2. Where are you going? 2 out of 5.
So for me, for this guy, Grangestone didn't really have my mind too blown. I'm not sure if I'd wish that there'd be a clone. From the beginning, I wish I would have known. But nonetheless, for the price point, I'm still going to give it a 2, which means I'd still replace it on my bar, but just not as quick as others. So for me, it's definitely going to be a 2, folks.
One day I imagine like your bar is just going to have like a top shelf of just all Grangestone, because for the most part, every Grangestone you've picked up, you've actually really liked.
And it's good. Yeah. So the reason I rate this so low, so that 12, I'd probably rate it like a 3, a solid 3 or 4. But
well, and you dug that bourbon cask finish.
Yeah.
I remember you loved that one.
Yeah. That was great. But this, why I'm rating it a little bit lower is because, I mean, the smoothness for the age, definitely there, definitely accurate where it should be. But the flavor profile, I expected a little bit more out of it, but it's okay because, you know, not every bottle is going to be amazing, right?
Nope.
So
that's why it's a journey. It's all about the journey, not necessarily the destination.
So I'm going with the 2.
So it's a 2 from Caesar. It's a 2 from me. 2s all around. Hey, hit us up in the comments. Have you had a Grangestone? Do you think it's garbage, or do you really, really love it? Or are you somewhere in between? That's okay. You can be a middleman. That's all right. You can sit on the fence. We do it occasionally. But nonetheless, guys, let us know what your thoughts are on this video. Let us know, is there another whiskey, another 21-year-old you suggest that we try? We're always looking for new stuff. We're always looking to interact with you guys. Which brings us to my next point. Hit us up on the socials. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, at socaldramtram. We appreciate interacting with you guys there. And that's really all I got today. You got anything else you want to add?
That's it for me, Matt.
Stay safe, drink well. All aboard! Catch you next time. Hey everybody, hope you liked that video.
Don't forget to hit that bell for notifications.
And don't forget to subscribe.